Stumbles over to me, like gets right in my face and goes, "That was the worst version of that I've ever heard in my life." And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." And her boyfriend goes, "Don't listen to her. She's fucking drunk."
Been propositioned by some swingers before.
You have.
Yeah. No, me, Charlie, and Adam, all three of us.
Billy, you get in on this, or were you left out of the mix?
I was the swinger. I got to tell you about my fake ID if I could. You were smart to stay within the continental United States. My fake ID was Derek Jameson from Peterborough, England.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Milwaukee Uncut. Amazing episode for you today with comedian Billy Duce and Charlie Berens, tour manager, among several other things, Dante Williams. They have some amazing stories from life on the road. We also talk about Bill's rise, Bill's fake ID story, maybe the best one I've ever heard. I thought I had a good one. He about 10-upped me on that front. We also got a call in from Andrea Boehlke about egg freezing. Not sure how exactly we got there, but that was a good one. So overall, highly entertaining episode with these two. Before diving in, just want to thank our partners who make this possible. Nicolay Law, the Midwest law firm. Three Sheeps, the beer Wisconsin drinks, got a nice Three Sheeps shirt on right there. Drink Wisconsinably beverage company, amazing canned cocktails. I love their cherry lime, good golf course drink, their cherry lime, canned vodka, and their canned old fashioned. And Infinity Exteriors, providing windows, roofing, and siding for all those needs. Check out infinityexteriors.com. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe if you have not already. We've got a lot of great Milwaukee content coming up, and let's dive in with Dante and Bill. We've got Billy Duce, comedian, musician, American history, guitar, VHS connoisseur.
Yep.
Lived all over, but spent the majority of his time in the Boston area, but lived in Milwaukee a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And grew up here briefly. We'll
I did.
get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eligible bachelor, drives a 2019 Dodge Caravan Black.
Man, they did their research on you.
I must have sent you guys this. Did I send you guys this?
No, I do my homework. I take this job very seriously.
Remember that guy you were texting me about when you're like, there's this guy outside my window the other night?
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Yeah.
In my view.
That time.
2019 Dodge Caravan.
I had to listen to his and Charlie's podcast, so I had to bear through that for 60 minutes, which is probably
that's
worse
rough.
than creeping on his window. But I got through it. Powered
Props
through.
on you.
Yeah, exactly. Although that Jolly Good ad you did when you were singing about Jolly Good and how you were pounding through the blue razzes, that was a couple of years,
Bit of an
couple
earworm,
years ago.
right? Yeah, Jolly Good soda,
It was
refreshing and
the
delicious.
night after you guys performed at the State Fair.
Yep. That was crazy. That was a big. I was still flying high from that because that was like, how many people were at that?
9,000 something.
Yeah, like, and that was probably my third comedy show.
That's wild.
Yeah. It was weird.
Because you just got thrown into this world, which we'll get into. We've also got Dante Williams joining us, Sheboygan native, right next to our friends at Three Sheeps.
Malibu of the Midwest.
Malibu, the Midwest, Chevegas.
I was up there a couple weeks ago. I think it's great.
It's great.
I love Sheboygan.
Yeah.
I like hopping in the lake there sometimes.
Yep.
It's a beautiful
clean
beach.
now.
Beautiful beach.
Really?
Yeah, a little cleaner than Bradford Beach
Yep.
in this area too. Much cleaner. There's a store called the Raw Dog there.
Oh yeah, the raw dog food place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard about that recently. The guy didn't even know when he named it,
No.
and someone told him, and he kept it because he liked it.
Did you see the video we did on that?
That must have been what I saw.
It might-
Was
it
that
might have
yours?
been, yeah.
Oh, I saw
did
that
that.
like yesterday.
This
So anyway,
guy
there-
did his homework too. He watched one of our videos and didn't even know. Look
So
at
anyway,
this.
there's this
Thank you, Billy.
podcast.
Thanks for getting that view count up by one.
There's this podcast called Milwaukee Uncut, and they don't tell you when they're rolling. So it's like this really weird experience.
You know, what happened is I was driving up to Three Sheeps. We had a meeting with them, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a big sign that just said Raw Dog on it. And I was like,
Nice.
Yep.
this has to be like a townie bar, maybe a strip club. I don't know. So I was
All
running a little
three.
late. So I go to Three Sheeps, and I'm like, I'm going to stop at the bar Raw Dog on the way back. And the guys like thought it was funny, but didn't really know what I was talking about. And then
That's
I
hilarious.
go in and I'm like, oh, this would be, we didn't really do any in the field video. We just kind of started doing that stuff. But I was like, oh, this would be funny. So I'm like, hey, look what I just found, and like pointed it up to the sign. And then the owner of the health dog food store is this like 60-year-old, slightly overweight guy ripping a dart in the parking lot.
Nice.
Sick guy. And he's like, hey, you like the sign? And I was like, yeah, you the owner? And I'm like, can I talk to you for a minute? And then he just gives us a tour of Raw Dog. So that was
awesome.
It was a very wholesome video. Yeah, he had no idea about the name until he got an email a couple weeks later, someone notifying him and telling him to look up what Raw Dog was on the internet.
No, that's amazing. You can go 60-something years and just have no idea.
My dad wouldn't know what raw dog is.
Is that a new? Is that that's the?
That doesn't seem
if
new.
it's a term that was invented in the last 20 years, maybe. You
I think, yeah, 90s rap kind of a thing.
Well, I feel like the connotation of I'm just gonna raw dog it or go into something without like a kind of winging it in a way.
Yeah,
that's very new, right? Not the term raw dog itself, but I think it's increased in popularity the last couple of years.
Yeah.
On a similar
in our guys capitalizing on it up in Sheboygan right now. Smart marketing genius.
You've kind of got us the same thing going on, because I thought this was a support podcast for uncircumcised men. Has that joke already been made a million times?
People don't usually make it on the podcast. They just kind of give me shit off the show about it. But thanks, Billy. I appreciate it.
You guys will have to do some editing.
Anyway, Dante is also a Lakeland University alum. Did you know that? Like our friend advisor of the show, TJ B9L Marini.
Who is that? Should I know him? TJ, do I know you?
Probably not. We call him, he's a little older. We call him B9L since he's on the back nine of life.
Oh,
really good guy.
What constitutes the back nine? Over 50?
I think he's coming right up on 50. I don't know if he's 50 quite yet, but he's right there. But
it's weird when you
he's
get
the oldest guy on the group thread I'm in with him and some people. So,
nice.
Yeah,
it's good to have an elder.
But anyway, good fellow alum there at Lakeland. Dante is also Charlie's videographer, tour manager, producer, and
extraordinaire.
Yeah, does it all. And you can fly a plane.
I can fly a
Jesus.
plane. Man, you guys should do your research. I love it.
Have you been in his plane? Have you been in a plane ride with Dante before?
That's a whole thing. He's very much wants me or someone to go up. Charlie asks. We both have the same apprehension, which is not really merited. I mean, it's a safe thing to do, but I have not yet been ready to take that step.
Are you offended? Charlie won't go up there with you either?
Charlie,
he seems like he'd do that. No?
He's kind of like a cat. He's skittish.
Maybe after a few beers he would do that. I got way less to lose than him, so I should just go up. I mean, he has wealth. I have a Dodge Caravan, so let's just fucking do it.
It's black, though.
It is black. Yeah, it is black. And it has Massachusetts plates on it, even though I've lived here now for 2.5 years.
But you have a Wisconsin temporary tag now.
Just printed it out yesterday.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Commonwealth.
Is Wisconsin a Commonwealth?
No, I just like saying that because it sounds cool.
It is cool.
I don't really know what it means, if I'm being honest.
Only a few states still use that designation, I think.
I'm guessing Massachusetts is one of them.
The Commonwealth.
Sounds very Commonwealth.
Virginia says it. I was just in Virginia for the first time.
Virginia.
My mom is from that area.
Oh, really?
Mattapoisett.
Mattapoisett is in Massachusetts. On the shore, right?
Yeah.
On the South Shore?
And both my parents went to BU.
Oh, okay.
My grandpa was a huge Pats fan.
Okay.
In the day.
Both your parents went to BU?
They did. My dad's from this area initially, but he went to school out there.
BU is a good school. Didn't get in there myself, but
Yeah, he wasn't a very good student. I think they were way more lenient in the 80s.
yeah, I got into one of those schools. It was just like, do you have the money?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome aboard.
Yeah. First question. This was from my buddy Boston John. He was wondering, what is the most Midwest nice thing you have experienced where you acted like a masshole?
Ooh.
Midwest.
You seem like a friendly masshole.
Yeah, I don't necessarily fit the stereotype. I also like moved around a lot, so like
Yeah.
Maybe not a true thoroughbred masshole, but
I've seen it though.
yeah, it'll come out in traffic.
In the car.
In
Okay.
traffic.
I do that, and I'm from here too.
Yeah.
Bree will tell you about that. She's not a fan of it, but
I have, like pretty moderate personality, but like the one thing that'll bring out a scary person in me is the traffic. And what's funny is like
in the caravan,
man.
road
And
raging in the minivan.
just street racing with a Chrysler 300, giving him the finger.
With no bumper on it. And no
That's right.
plates.
But I would say in traffic, the funny thing is like the one thing I really don't miss about Boston is the traffic. It's some of the worst traffic in the country. Actually, it's in like the top 2 or 3 cities. I mean, it's really tough. So that's why I love it.
I hate the tunnel when you leave the airport. If you just get jammed inside of it, I'm a little claustrophobic guy.
You could be under the water for 2 hours down there if they're working on that tunnel.
Yeah, and there's no way around it either.
And if you've seen that Sylvester Stallone movie where they're stuck in the tunnel and then it floods, no one has, and that makes sense because I think I'm the only guy who went to see it.
What's it called?
I can't even remember.
Do you have it on VHS?
Yeah, I do.
One copy, or how many are we talking?
Just one copy.
Okay. We'll
But
get into that later.
To your question, the one thing that it does take getting used to again is just the friendliness of people, just in a very ordinary interaction, like buying something at the package store, going into whatever. People are like, hello, how are you? Thank you for coming. How's everything? Nice day. And I'm like, what the fuck? You gonna write me a poem or something? Jesus. And then you just realize that's just normal. In Massachusetts, it's not like they're trying to be rude. That's just how it is. You can go in and purchase something from a convenience store in Massachusetts and have no exchange of dialogue. Just go in, can on the counter, guy looks up, gestures to the machine so you know how much it is. You give him the money, he groans, you leave. Here it's like, different.
Yeah,
Which is nice. Just takes a little getting used to.
It makes everything take much longer. Depending
I
on
don't
where
mind
you're at.
that. I don't mind that.
What if you have somewhere to be though?
yeah. I'm not a very patient person.
No, neither am I.
Yeah,
And it's like I got a place to be. I don't want to have this conversation with you. I've never met you, and I'm probably never going to see you again.
You should say that to them.
I want
after
to.
waiting in line for
I always say that
8 minutes. Yeah,
he's like a lost soul that belongs in Boston.
I think I should have.
He would thrive.
Because I love the rudeness.
He would thrive.
I want to do it. I just can't get myself
give it
to
back
be
to
that
you.
rude.
How did you each link up with Charlie?
You go first.
I knew him when I lived here, so when I was moving around a lot as a kid.
And you was it late middle school or high school when you were here?
Yep.
Both.
It's a weird story, but I was here for 7th and 8th and 10th. I lived in Massachusetts for 9th. It was like a weird trans. And then I lived in Massachusetts from like 2003 to 2 years ago. But I knew him in like the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we have the same core group of buddies from the area. So I went to Brookfield East High School for about a year. Mm-hmm. And he was at a Catholic school, I think. He was at like Marquette High.
Yeah, he was Marquette High.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just became buddies, and like it's a group of friends that stays in touch even before group chat and all that shit. Like we would always have an annual, some sort of outing or something and get together. And so I was always seeing Charlie throughout the years, and then eventually just kind of reconnected. And, like I have the freedom to kind of do what I want because I'm not married. I don't have kids. And so he was like, do you want to move to Milwaukee and write for me? And we'll, get you going and see if we can get a thing going for you. And I was just like, yeah, what the hell?
How did he offer you that? Because you were just doing music at the time, right?
Just, I've always loved comedy and humor, and he's always thought I was a funny person. And so whenever we'd be together, I'd be doing a bit, and he'd have his phone out, and he'd be like, like writing, do it again, And then we were at our friend's wedding, and he had me do something, and then he reached out. He's like, I need you to do this, and it just kind of grew.
Yeah. In what year was that?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Dante?
We met in a bathroom. Do you want me to explain that more, or are we just going to leave the viewers at that?
It might be better for you if you explain it more. Yeah, that kind of deserves an explanation. What was going on in the bathroom?
Let me think how to start this.
You peeked over and you said, "Hey, are you Charlie Berens?" He said, "Can you just give me a minute?"
I called into work sick one day because my buddy's dad had tickets to a Packers game.
Where were you working at the time?
I was working at Riverbend in Kohler. Fancy billionaires club kind of deal. And went to the game. They were box tickets, which is why I was like, I'm going to call in sick. This will be great. And walk in the box, and I'd seen like the first 3 episodes of Man at a Walk Minute on Facebook. And I was like, oh, that's that guy. That's cool. I'm not going to go bother him. He was with his buddy Feldman.
Nice.
Him and Feldman were at the game. Then I leave out the box to go to the bathroom. No one else in there. There's a whole wall of urinals, probably the size of that wall behind you. He comes in, goes 2 over. He does the respectful thing, 2 over from me, not right next to me. Then I would have been a little weird.
So 1 in between you guys.
1 in between us. The standard
fair.
rule. Yeah. And he just looks over at me and goes, "Hey, you're in the box, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. Peeing right now, but yeah, I'm in the box. Finish this conversation when we're done." Get done, wash our hands, shake hands, and just start talking.
Sorry.
And he's like, "What are you? You want to add something?"
Oh, I was just going to ask, like, he didn't say, like, nice watch or, like, water's cold or any of those dad urinal jokes.
No, I'm kind of glad he didn't.
Okay. I like how you played hooky from work and got a job.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
So had he blown up at that point, or was this kind of right at the
cusp
of the Manitowoc Minute? I mean, that kind of shot out of a cannon at first.
Yeah, but, it was he was on the beginning of the upslope.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any employees at the time, and he was like, what's your story? I was in college still. Just kept talking and gave him my resume, and he actually called me the next day, which I was surprised because I was drunk, he was drunk.
He meets a lot of men in the men's room.
Meets a lot. I kind of picked
Seemed
up
like
that vibe.
he took initiative.
He
with
was
the
really
urinal
comfortable
conversation.
speaking to me at a urinal, which, looking back on it, probably should have been a warning sign. But
You're in his phone as men's room, Dante.
Lambeau restroom, Dante.
So this is like 6-ish years ago.
2019.
So around
Oh,
6
like
years
right
ago.
before
On
the
there.
pandemic, yeah.
And just started selling. I'd go to his shows on the weekend, sell merch, go back to Sheboygan, go to school. And then we were on a trip. It was the first one I actually flew to. We were out in Seattle, doing the same thing out there, selling merch. And then COVID happened. And while we were out there, and I was like, shit, am I gonna be able to like get on a flight home? Like everything was getting weird already. And fast forward, I graduated during the pandemic, and he was like, I'm not doing shows. I can't really hire a full-time employee right now. So I took a job down in Chicago for like a year and some change. I hated it. It's very boring, same thing every single day. And the commuting downtown was horrible. And one day on a Friday, he called me and he was like, do you want to come on full time? And I was like, yeah, just give me like 20 minutes. And I quit my job.
Nice.
Here we are.
So you were just essentially selling merch at his shows. You don't really have a videographer, editing background,
I have a business degree
or anything.
Yep. Had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So like, how did your role transition? Because now you're a tour manager. You shoot a bunch of his stuff and
I
edit
shoot
too,
most
right?
of the videos.
Yeah.
I did edit. Like I learned how to edit because of him bringing Bill on. Bill was the first videos I ever edited. Yeah. Bat Van.
Yeah. You've gotten good at editing, though.
Thank you.
I mean, you're at a proficient level,
Yeah, I know enough to get by.
Yeah.
But there's people that are better, so they do it, which is fine with me because I hate it.
No, and you can see those early videos are rough. Not because of you, but just we both
they're
didn't know
rough.
how to edit. Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of like a deal for me to come on. He was like, "You're gonna have to learn how to do this. It'll help with everything." So I just sat next to our editor at the time and watched everything he was doing, and that's how I learned.
Yeah.
Started doing his videos. I think you had no followers at the
No,
time.
no.
Now you're, I don't
Like
even
my
know what
mom
you're
and
at
some people.
combined. Probably a couple 100,000.
Oh, between all of them?
Everything.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Way to go, Bill.
Bill's my
Let's
success
go.
story.
Yeah, I'm his success story. Just got to keep on growing. I used to have access to him a lot more, but now he's taken on so much more stuff for the company that I don't have Dante all the time.
Yeah, so how's everything laid out? Because I think a lot of people, they see Charlie, they see you on the videos. There's the tour, there's the merch, there's a lot of brand deals. Like it's a
There's a lot of
very
stuff going
legit
on.
business going on with a lot going on. Like,
Yeah.
how's that all laid out? What are people's roles? What's a typical week like?
No week is the same. Don't think it ever has been, which is
How many employees does he have? John, Hannah, Colleen, you, me,
5. Molly,
some
6.
peripheral.
There's peripheral employees, freelancers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's like 5 main people. Colleen kind of handles all the creative stuff as far as like script writing and scheduling shoots and that kind of stuff. And I kind of do tour and managing the business side of things.
merch.
Using my degree.
And Charlie's mom is part of the merch process too.
Yep. Yeah, she handles all the like ordering and dealing with that stuff. So it's kind of split where everyone has like a couple different things that they do, which is nice because then you're not getting bored of doing the same thing every single day.
And everybody can kind of do everything a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody has their strengths, but like Colleen could shoot a video in a jam or edit.
Yeah.
Same with you. I couldn't really shoot a video, but I could do some other stuff.
Yeah.
I actually do work for Charlie's company too. Like, so I do my thing. And
Yeah.
He's kind of like a mentor, I think, in that way.
He's
But
your
then I
dad.
also, yeah, he's my dad. And then just like what I do is
He is in some of those skits, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
what I do is probably the most eclectic. Like what I bring to the table, I think is probably just random fill-in stuff. Like I can help assist, with some jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without you though.
How do you guys come up with all the content ideas? It's just like a team effort or someone.
Kind of just like, I think it really depends, but the best ideas we come up with, it's not like a plan. We're going to sit down and write a sketch. It's kind of Bill, myself, Charlie, or whoever, like a small group is just kind of out somewhere doing something and you observe some crazy person doing something weird or something just out of the ordinary and you kind of just jot it down. And then maybe later that night or another day, you're like, oh, remember that crazy dude we saw at the bar? That could be something.
Yeah, that's how I work. And that's probably 90% of Charlie's ideas are things he wrote down in a notebook or wrote in notes on his iPhone.
Yeah.
And he goes back and goes through, and we have this thing where we call them high-deas, where like you go read it and you're like, oh, I was baked when I wrote that. It's not as funny as I thought it was. So you get those out of there. Some of them are good. Some of the high ideas have staying power, but you just got to get high again when you read it again. But so you just write things down like notebook stuff. Like good example was I was at the studio the other day with Charlie. This was so funny. Great dad thing. I hope he doesn't mind that I tell it, but his dad calls him. We're sitting at the control desk, and I can hear the dad on the other end of the phone. He's like, Charlie? And Charlie's like, yeah? I need to talk to you. And I know his grandma was not well at one point, and I'm like, oh, no. And Charlie looked the same. And then I hear his dad. He needed to talk to him about the types of screws that he needs to get to repair his dock. And I hear the dad through the phone go, now, these screws are 75 cents a piece, so don't lose them. And I fucking start laughing. I write that down in the other room. He comes back in and he goes, did you hear my dad? I go, those screws are 75. Which his dad's not wrong. That's an expensive screw. But that's a hilarious dad thing. Like, I might not climb down off the ladder to rescue one of those 75-cent screws. His dad would. And then there's an idea. That's a funny thing you throw into a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill, how did you transition into stand up? How was that for you? Because you go from doing music and all of a sudden, you know, your third time out there, you're at the state fair in front of 9,000 people.
No, it's a good question. The answer to that would be, you know, just being a musician. Like before I got into comedy, I was doing live sound and audio engineering in recording studios, but also performing in a number of different bands.
In front of crowds that big? Okay.
Yeah, so I did children's music for like 12 years, which is a great line of work. Daytime gigs, nobody's drunk.
The parents.
Some people have shit in their pants, but it's not my problem. So I did that. The Stacey Peasley Band was at children's music. And then I would play bars. I'd play like three nights a week at like bars and pubs in Boston or wherever. So like just, I guess my point being that I don't really have a stage fright issue. Like that, the entertainment experience, performance experience was kind of just natural to walk out there. So I'm not afraid of an audience. The only thing that was weird is just feeling a little naked without a guitar, or, you know, there's a certain comfort behind a drum kit or a piano or whatever, where it's like, I got this. If I fuck up, I'll just fuck around on this. But when you're out there with a microphone, and like this happens to me a lot, I think you probably can't see it, but there's moments where you freeze and it feels like 4 minutes, but it's like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're like, so anyway, you know. Whereas if I was with my guitar, I'd just keep looping on that chord for a little bit or something.
Have you hit up any open mics or anything recently? I heard you talk about how you kind of skipped a few steps just joining up with Charlie, and you're more scared of going up in front of 20 people in a small room than thousands of people.
I've gotten better at that. I don't go to enough open mics to satisfy the people that want me to go to them, like Dante and John, Charlie's brother, who talk about that a little bit later. But John's brother does comedy too. Every night he's out doing something. He's like a producer. He puts together shows.
Okay.
And I have no excuse not to be doing more comedy. I could go every night if I wanted to because of some of the people that I know. So no good excuses. But the small audience thing I've gotten better at, because we had a really funny situation the other week. We were out in Portland, Oregon. It's pretty weird out there. It's a weird place. So we go to this private party, and it's at a house. And we're on our way there, and Charlie's asking Dante and whomever about the details. We come to find out that it's in a house, a person's living room. There's going to be 80 people there. The room's about the size of this room.
Yeah.
So
Were they like booking Charlie to go there, or is this just like we're going to a party?
It was a private person who wanted to book Charlie for a private party.
Okay. So you're going to this house.
So anyway, the funny thing is you find out you're in a living room with a bunch of people. That's fine. It's a little weird, but whatever. Then I'm like, so is the microphone like wireless, or like, does she have like microphone? And I'm like,
This wasn't me.
No, not you. Essential component of stand-up comedy, unless you're like, you know, Jeff Dunham and you've got a fucking puppet on your lap or something. So then Charlie got in his head, like, I don't think I've ever done comedy without a microphone. What the hell am I going to do with my hands and all that? Mm-hmm. So we had to get creative, but that was a good challenge because I had to get out there and do 20 minutes without a microphone in front of 20 people in a living room.
And you brought a puppet out with you and forgot to use it.
I did.
You have a puppet bit?
You know, here's the other funny thing. The green room of this show was the woman's child's bedroom. So we're in there around a bunch of teddy bears and blankets and stuff.
That was her room.
Oh.
Makes it a little bit more weird.
Well.
The woman who owned the house?
Yeah.
Was she married?
I think so.
Not anymore.
Nice lady. Very nice. It was all fine, but it was just like an interesting
Brought
experience.
You back to your children's music days?
In a way, that probably helped too. Having people sitting on the floor right in front of you, like
and having stuffed animals around you, and
snacks. But we had to kind of think on the fly how to make it a decent show, and so at the end we ended up. Adam Gruel. Do you know Horseshoes and Hand Grenades at all?
I'm just familiar through you guys' stuff.
So Adam was with us, and he was on the show too. And so at the end for the finale, we did a jam, and Adam played guitar, Charlie sang, and I took my iPhone and pulled up my piano app, and I played piano. And it was actually
No
pretty
speaker
good.
at all, so everyone had to be super quiet, and he jacked his phone up and is just going.
I put it on this I put it on this B3 organ, and I was like ripping organ solos like this.
The fans had to love it.
They did like it.
They'd
loved
never
it.
seen that before.
It was
No.
it was a good finale.
What's the best story you got from playing at the Boston pubs? Anything stand out in your mind?
Oh,
That's
just
a good question.
just the shit that people say to you.
You witness anything crazy?
Sure, I had a guy try to fight me at a hotel. The weirdest regular gig I had was at this hotel lobby on State Street in Boston. It was a weird mix because it was like businessmen going there with their mistresses, weirdos who've never been to Boston who are like staying there. This guy was from the South, and he's talking to me and kind of like pissing contest, like kind of trying to big dick me about stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I kind of start to figure out that he's still sore about like the Civil War. He's from like Tennessee or something. And he's like, yeah, all you liberals up here in Boston. Like, well, he didn't have a Boston accent. He's like, yeah, all you liberals up here in Boston, you know, you just let people do anything there. And this was like right after the Boston Marathon bombing. That's what he was saying. And finally, I was being friendly to the guy. And finally, I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of here. And he lost it and like stood up and he's like screaming. I still got my guitar. I'm like, can I go back?
Bigger
to play?
guy or how
No,
big?
he was a little
Okay, short king.
little fella. But you know, move on from the Civil War at this point. We won.
Yeah.
Wisconsin fought for the North, so
Yep.
Wisconsin and Massachusetts. You know, let's move on. But then the other weird thing would be like someone just telling me it was a bad. There's this drunk woman sitting right at the bar staring at me like this. It's like dead eyes.
That happens at comedy shows too.
Yeah.
There's always sitting backstage. I'll look out when any of them are on stage, even Charlie, and there's a dad in the front row just
Yeah, right.
not.
Even at Charlie's show that
Even
they
at
pay to go to?
Yeah.
And the funny
it's
thing
because
is-
his wife dragged him there, and I think he's a little.
Well, the funny thing is a lot of those
Charlie
guys.
does very well with the middle-aged women demographic, right?
That's the money.
the bread and butter for
moneymaker
the
there.
crew right
Yeah.
here.
But the funny thing about those guys is like they look like they're having the worst night of their life, and then they'll be at the meet and greet like, that was so great. And I had a great time. I was like, you look like I just peed in your cereal. But yeah, this woman at the bar is like staring at me like this, and her boyfriend's like she's really drunk. He's trying to babysit. And I finished playing the song. I remember what it was. It was a song by The Cars, My Best Friend's Girlfriend. You know that song? My best friend's girlfriend.
Okay.
Anyway, I finished the song. She gets up, stumbles over to me, like gets right in my face and goes, that was the worst version of that I've ever heard in my life. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And her boyfriend goes, don't listen to her. She's fucking drunk. And I'm like, thanks, man. Thanks for supporting me. He's like, don't listen to her. She's fucking hammered. I've all kinds of weird shit. People come up. The entitlement of like a group of drunk girls is second to none.
Trent requesting songs from you or just
Coming up to the microphone and taking it.
yeah.
I made the mistake of doing a John Mayer song once, turned into a fucking karaoke session. But it's
Is that ever nice for you? Because you can just exit stage and take a breather, and you probably seem a lot better after people had to listen to them for 10 minutes. Or?
I think Cody could probably speak to this. The guy who comes to your gig and you can just see in his eyes that he wants to ask you if he can do a song. And depending on the gig, sometimes I'll allow it. And it can go one of two ways. It can be like, that was a fucking train wreck. Or it can be like, shit, that guy just upstaged me.
So it's a no-win
So
situation.
yeah, I would say it's
almost.
a lose-lose situation.
I did it once at a bar. This young guy, he goes, hey man, do you mind if I do a song for my girlfriend? And I was like, yeah, dude, sure. Guy gets up there, has the silkiest, most awesome singing voice I've ever heard. He's ripping my guitar to shreds, playing
Oh,
shit.
he has the guitar too.
Oh, he's fucking. He's a phenom,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, what? And he's like, oh yeah, I go to Berkeley. I got in on a scholarship program, and I'm just like, don't go to other people's gigs and fucking
That might be
Acing
their
the hole.
kink. That might be their kink. Maybe
go up
they're
there and
just-
make the bar guy look like
Yeah.
a loser. But then it can go like the guy gets up there, can't play or whatever. But
What are the craziest fan interactions you guys have witnessed on tour?
the ability of people to not know, with all due respect, and people are all across the board very friendly.
Yeah.
And Charlie is very friendly. Never seen him be rude to anybody. But it's not deliberate, but just the lack of like awareness of social cues of like, you've been talking here for like 20 minutes. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And they're such sweet people, but sometimes you'll have like a guy who's like, okay, it's been 10 minutes. He's talking to everybody. And then you think he's leaving. He's like, oh, and you know what?
Yeah.
I got to show you something, like, so some people are weird in that way, but it's just, they're warm and we're,
Yeah.
we want to go home.
Anything that sticks out to you? You've been on the road for a while.
Got
Any
a couple
incidents?
stories.
Trunk lady?
We can start with Trunk Lady.
Tell Trunk lady.
We were where was that? Was that
trunk? Not,
Trunk lady.
Trunk? Was that Westby?
No, not Trump lady.
There's some of those.
Well, she might have been one of those too, but Trunk lady.
Even at Charlie's shows.
Oh yeah. There's honestly a good mix. Of
his
political spectrum.
Yeah, his stuff is apolitical, and it's. I think it's a pretty even split.
Yeah.
Nobody gets alienated at his shows. It's not why people are there.
Yeah.
But Trunk lady.
Trunk Lady was this old sweet woman, and this is all your fault, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you were working the merch table. And she says something along the lines of, I'm a huge fan. Like, I have a gift for Charlie. So he calls me and explains the story. There's this old, nice woman. I can't tell her no. Can she just give a gift to Charlie? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It'll be super quick. Silly me. She pulls her car around backstage and pops the trunk. Bill and I go out there because Charlie's busy doing something to get the gift because she needs both of us to come out there for some reason.
All the stuff she has for Charlie. Yeah.
Her entire car is filled with the most random shit that you can possibly imagine in your mind.
Thrift store stuff.
Homemade food that was not made the night before, like rice-a-roni in Tupperware that was going
What town was
old.
this in?
Westby, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. And the sweetest old lady, and I thought I was being punked. I was waiting for her to go, you're on,
Ashton
What
Kutcher's
the
going to
fuck is
pop
going
out,
on
hop
with-
around the corner from
it was
2006
And
or
it
whatever.
just wouldn't stop. And every item she pulled out had some kind of story to it. Like, I found this the other day, and it's like a wooden shamrock on a stick. Like, and it's not St. Patrick's Day, not even close to
But
it.
she was being genuinely nice about it in her mind.
Oh,
in
so
her mind.
sweet.
And there was so much stuff. Bill and I were making trips
Multiple
into the building to unload
Arms
this
full
stuff
of-
in the green room.
And
she'd be like, well, when you get back out here, I have more for you. And I'm like, what do we do? It just wouldn't stop.
And she was, the reason was she was waiting for Charlie to come out.
Yeah.
I had stupidly said,
It wasn't because she was moving and needed to get rid of
maybe
things.
she's just really smart. But I also was jonesing for a drink. And we didn't have any beer in the green room. Or we did, but I drank it all. And she had a bunch of beer. That might have been why I let her back. She goes, I got a bunch of stuff. I got some great beers. And I was like, Bring the beers in. It's like the most random ass.
Some Miller Lite from 2007 or
No, like beers.
Stuff you'd never heard of.
8 beers that I've never heard of. And I cracked
I
one.
could get down with that.
Everyone was at least 2 years expired.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So now I'm pissed at this lady.
I like trying new beers if they're not expired yet.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
brought me a variety pack of 8 beers, I'd never try.
Yeah,
I'd be
I would've-
excited if they were 2 years expired.
I would have had a
happy.
beer and maybe even
This
some of the
wasn't
chicken
a variety
salad.
pack that she bought. I think she assembled this variety pack.
This is adding up. Okay.
And how did this even end?
We
I think I eventually sent Charlie out.
we
because-
eventually realized there was no other way to end this than for him to just go out there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't not wanting to go out there; he was just too busy.
Yeah.
So he goes out, and
was
of
not
course it
wanting to
made
go
her
out there.
day. And he was very nice to her. But she even punished him with.
Yeah. He came in with a load of shit in his arms. So that's Trunk Lady. Been propositioned by some swingers before.
You have.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Me, Charlie, and Adam, all 3 of us.
Billy, you get in on this, or were you left out of the mix?
was-
I was the
Not
swinger. I was like, come on, guys. Why are we spending all this money on hotel rooms? Just getting one. No, I've been, I get just occasional. Never been propositioned for a swinging thing.
What is the most memorable proposition you've gotten? Any standout?
People always offer drugs.
Yeah. That's not even,
Not always, but like
it's
small
not too
towns.
wild anymore. It
Mushrooms.
was probably the swingers in Kansas City, Missouri. And
How old were these people?
my parents' age,
50s,
50s.
50s.
Yeah. I go to
50-year-old
the
swingers in Kansas
bathroom
City.
and there's a lady in my spot when I walk back out, and I'm like, oh, it's a fan saying hi, whatever. Clearly was not a fan by what I overheard. Just saying like, you guys, something along the lines of, I don't want you to be lonely tonight. Saying this to Charlie and Adam as I'm standing there. I turn around. Her husband's just behind me watching this go down.
He's like,
He's like, I got a real nice chair in the corner of the bedroom.
How does Charlie respond to that?
He just Midwest nice
Just
him.
apologizes to him, basically.
He just plays along with it, and which
free
makes
as a
my job a
crowd.
lot harder when we have to leave. And I don't know how we got out of that, but that's probably one of the more wild stories.
see, why can't he pass that stuff? Like whenever we're at a bar and people are laying down shots and drinks for him or whoever, Charlie doesn't really rip shots that much.
No.
So a lot of the time, I'm like a little sink next to him. Like they'll bring around a freaking shot of Jameson, and Charlie will be like, "Yeah, that was a really good." Oh, you're from, and I'm like, "Hand me some of the swingers."
I'll pass you the next one.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to take it.
Cool.
What is the pre and post show routine typically?
I think we all kind of do a different thing.
Oh,
Pre-game? Like pre-show. You're not going on stage, but you have
No.
to. Are you operating cameras and stuff during it, or
I'm
what? What
setting
are you,
up cameras, and I'm on like the comms talking to the people at the.
So you need to
in
be
the
on your
booth
A
and
game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't be like
and the merge
hammered or anything.
Yeah. Do you get a little loose beforehand?
I sometimes am like Dante does like all the logistics of the merch and everything, but then sometimes I'm the guy at the table, so I got to maintain a certain level of lucidness,
Yeah.
certain level. Not
But
a-
do you like having a few drinks before going on when you have to do a bit?
You know what's funny is probably until about 6 months ago, I had a couple drinks every time, and I started to realize like that's probably not a good thing to rely on. And why don't I see what it's like if I just go out there and raw dog it, uncut?
Raw dog food coming to you live from Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Shout out.
This
to
is
Raw
a paid
Dog.
advertisement.
But so I did a show without a drink and it went fine. It was actually even better. I think I was more like on top of my shit. So I actually do them sober now.
All of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bill's a sober guy now.
I'm on a hiatus from
Are you
drinking.
really?
Yeah, I did sober
So
October.
you're not the sink.
I am no longer
anymore.
the sink.
Good for you.
And it breaks my heart to watch those shots on the table when we leave. But every time a piece of me dies. We were at a bar the other night. The waitress came over telling us about these amazing shots that she has they're called Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
And they're all named after the Ninja Turtles. And they're like a purple one. I wanted the Donatello. But it's great, dude. I mean, I did sober October
Yeah.
because like I'm a pretty heavy drinker, like, and not like, ruining my life or anything, but like my volume of beer that I could drink as a larger guy at one point was circus freakishly large.
Normal night out, how many were you having?
Do you want me to answer that like you're my doctor, or that my mom might listen to this podcast?
No, like your friend with no mics or cameras on.
All right. On a night out with you dudes, from let's say we go out at 6 and we do the show and we go out till 2 on a crazier thing. We don't do that anymore, really, but like,
So this is an 8-hour drinking span.
not for them.
6 to 2?
Yeah, I'd say I cracked the first
6
one once we
p.m.
get
to
to the
2
green
a.m.
room.
Yeah.
You know, I could probably have a pretty reasonable conversation with a law enforcement official after like 18 beers, maybe. But then you got to remember there's some of those shots are sprinkled in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just getting to a point where like, how much alcohol am I going to need to drink in 2 years to have a fun
So
night?
any easy 20 plus units of alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hook me up to a keg at this point and let me roll it around in a fucking wheelbarrow. But then so I did Sober October, and I was like, it was rough. The first few weeks were rough.
Were you just bored a little bit?
Yeah, like I
Were
wasn't
things
having
more boring?
boring a little bit. I mean, I didn't
We're
have
a little sweaty.
Yeah, you sweat out a lot of the toxins.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I wasn't having like, delirium tremens, or like I wasn't like having withdrawals, but it was a rough couple of weeks just getting used to a new lifestyle. And I got to the end of October and I felt really good, and I'd lost about 10 pounds. So I said, well, I'll do November. And I did December and in January. And now it's April. It's about 6 months since I last
Dude,
had a
good
beer.
for you.
Yeah, and it feels great. Thank you. I've lost a lot of weight, which is great.
How much are you down?
Like 38 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you change anything else or just no booze?
No. And the worst part of it is that the assumption today, if you lose weight, is that you're on Ozempic.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Well,
taking
now
Ozempic.
people know the truth.
That's true. The truth is that I quit drinking. I don't take Ozempic.
Do you think you'll ever have another drink again, or do you think you're done?
Oh shit! I got to take my Ozempic. No, no. I don't think I could commit to lifelong abstinence. We have a couple things on the horizon.
Like,
There's a dude's trip. We're all going to Cape Cod.
oh, and you're like the host of that one.
Yeah,
I'm
my
guessing.
parents' cottage.
Yeah.
My parents' cottage. So I'll probably get to that and have a few beers, and then set a goal of like, what's the next thing? Like Oktoberfest or whatever.
Those beers will taste good out there. You earned them.
The first beer after a break from drinking is
My first beer on Friday after not drinking during the week. I don't really do that. That beer tastes good.
a first beer of the day. But it's funny. I quit drinking a few years ago to lose weight for a wedding, and like 4 months maybe. And before the wedding, I was like, I better go out and drink before this wedding, just kind of get my sea legs back. And I placed the order as though I was still fat, 24 beer bill.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like at one of the Yard House, they pour you like a beer like this.
Yeah.
And I drank it really quick, and I drank another one. And then I ordered a third one, and I realized halfway through, I was like, I can't finish this freaking beer. And I don't think I'd ever said that in my entire life.
Yeah, that's like a sin for you.
Oh, my buddy finished it, thankfully. But
So pre-October, when you guys were on tour, are you out most nights afterwards? Does it depend if there's another show the next day, or you're traveling at all?
There's some factors. I do all the driving, so I'm usually the factor that says, are we going to go out or not? And when Charlie didn't have a girlfriend, we were going out till 3 a.m.
I wasn't sure.
Times. Yeah.
yeah, we don't.
Probably shouldn't have said that.
Well, no, between you have a girlfriend, he has a girlfriend.
Yeah,
I'm
That's
not drinking.
public information.
Yeah, that's out there.
Yeah, it is public.
You have a girlfriend.
Yep.
You're never like a party animal anyway. You like to have a good time, but it's not like you're out there going
Yeah.
nuts. Charlie's pretty moderate. And with me not drinking, it's like we go out, have a few drinks with some
Yeah, like
people.
1 or 2 drinks, go back to the
After the
hotel,
show, yeah.
go swim in the pool together.
Because you and Charlie are late 30s-ish?
Yeah, I'm 38. I think he's 38 now, or he's going to
He'll
be.
be 38 on the 27th.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys not get hangovers or anything? I'm about to be 37, and if I have like 6 or 7 beers at this point, I'm waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. with a racing heart and some night sweats.
If I have 7 beers, I'm
Which isn't a lot for
blacked
me.
out.
I bet I wasn't near your level, but like I can drink 7 beers like this.
I know
Like,
what you mean.
Yeah, and I like beer. Like I could have 3 at dinner, a couple after, a couple more. Like I like IPAs too. It hits me now. So if I have to do something the next day, I just usually don't.
That's yep. You're at that
But if
age.
I had to go and perform in front of an audience, I'd probably.
I think the nice thing about comedy is you have the whole next day to recover.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times,
Your work starts at 7 or 8 p.m.
Yeah.
like on the road, let's say we're out on the road for like 3 or 4 days with me and opening for him or whatever. The next day, a lot of times he'll have a local podcast or you guys are going to go do a whatever. But I'll have the whole day to just.
Hang out in the van. In the
Sometimes
caravan.
that's a problem.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
There,
You mean because I.
Chicago.
What did he do in Chicago, Dante?
You start it and I'll finish it.
Oh, you mean when I got too drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a like pretty good hold my liquor like.
Yeah,
Tolerance,
I would imagine.
But every once in a while, something happens. And anyway, I'm not a big like loud, crowded place guy. Unless I'm on stage, I don't really want to be out in a crowded place where you can't hear anybody talking.
Yeah.
I never liked that when I was 22, let alone almost 40. But like, some of these people enjoy that. They're social butterflies, and we go to this godforsaken place that's like super loud. It's just like a douche
really cool.
convention.
In Chicago?
Yeah,
Wrigleyville-ish?
No, we were in River North.
Okay.
So even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like the meeting of the bros,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that doesn't seem like your vibe.
nah, dude. And then it was bad, but then it switched to like nightclub at like 8 o'clock. The lights went down. We're eating dinner, and it was like went from loud to like like every speaker is a subwoofer, and I just looked at Dante. I was like, I get the fuck out of here. But there was already something else in motion with some ladies,
Yeah.
which I couldn't disrupt. So I had to like stay there. So I have a tendency to do like the Irish goodbye. And
It's very Bostonian.
yeah. So like, 40 minutes go by. Someone's like, where's Bill? And in this instance, I don't think I was answering my phone. I was already pretty buzzed. Wanted to get the hell out of Doucheville. I walked down to the nearest crummy-looking Irish pub I could find for a shot of Jameson and a Miller Lite or something.
You'd thrive in a Chicago Irish bar.
You can feel like you're back in Boston and Chicago
Yeah.
for sure. And
the story gets better.
so I don't know what I was thinking, but
Well, then you eventually answer the phone for me because I'm like, where's Bill? They're going to do something else.
he came and found me at this Irish bar.
I walk in, he's entertaining the whole bar in an Irish accent.
I had them all convinced that I was from Ireland, and they were pouring me shots.
He had like 6 shots of Jameson. Can't even tell you how many beers. You weren't speaking English at that point, I don't think. It was the most slurred speech I've ever heard. It sounded like you were having a stroke.
The
Let's
drunken
hear
Irishman
And I had to
who went
walk him
Brookfield
back
East
to the
High
hotel.
School.
Let's have another shot of Jameson. This is my friend Dante, my brother from another mother. We don't look alike, but we're brothers. Take a shot with me, will you? And that's a night that I haven't repeated that level of intoxication. That was a good.
I think that was the peak.
Yeah, that was a good. Woke up the next day. I said, okay, that hasn't happened in a long time, and it can't happen again. But it was fun.
Dante, have you been in a relationship for most of this
All of it.
circus? Yeah.
All of it, yeah.
Can I pee while he talks about his relationship?
By all means. Well, you're actually gonna pee.
Yeah, I've been dating my girlfriend for 5 years and some change.
Nice.
Yeah. So not when I first.
Has that been difficult at all? Being out with this crew. on the road.
At times, yeah. Life tests you.
As a
but
good-looking guy getting wingmanned by the Irishman.
I have prevailed all the temptations. So
Even the swingers in Kansas
even
City.
the swingers that was an easy pass. Yeah.
I mean, you don't get that opportunity much.
No,
It's not
you
normal-
don't.
It's not
but
normal.
the
night.
The creepy husband just staring at you makes you say no real quick.
Any other good stories from the road or stories while Bill's taking his
Trying to think.
third pee of the hour?
Yeah,
since you
I'm
guys
kind
have
of
been
worried
here.
about. I keep telling him he's got to get his prostate checked, and
And he's not.
He asks me to do it.
He's sober too. I mean,
Yeah.
I have to pee a lot at this age when I'm drinking, but
so do I. I mean,
yeah, it's like an every 20, 30 minute type
Yeah.
thing, which is what he's doing now. But apparently, he's been sober since October. so-
Yes, I'm proud of him. Didn't think he could do it.
Is he hammering the Dunkin' Iced, or is that just for the skits?
He doesn't live close to one, so he's had to convert to Starbucksonism.
He can't like that.
It's a word. No, he hates it, but he needs the coffee, so he lives right next to a Starbucks, so he kind of screwed himself when he picked that apartment. He's doing good on the Starbucks.
Is he taking a pee? He's been out there for a while.
I don't know.
It's getting
I don't know what he's doing.
to questionable. Like, I haven't heard the dog at all. So
He might be. He loves a good dog, so he might be playing with the dog.
Yeah.
He might not come back. This might be the episode.
he did say he liked Irish goodbyes a few minutes ago.
Yeah. He'll Irish goodbye you and tell you he's taking a pee and he's gone.
Oh no! Oh, he's returned. We didn't know if we were getting one of the Irish goodbyes.
Thought I was gonna find you at the Irish pub Lydia's putting on an
Oh yeah,
accent.
Lydia's is right down the street from
We ate
here.
lunch there before we came here.
Did you?
Did you say do you have a plunger?
I'm just kidding.
You were gone for.
A
you
little
were
jealous
gone
of
for-
your bathroom. I got studio bathroom in it. It's a nice bathroom. Put a shower in there.
It is pretty spacious in there.
Oh, dude.
We have yet to put anything on the walls or anything, so it probably even seems more spacious than it actually is. We've only been here for 2 years now, or so.
Looks great.
Yeah, thank you. What are your favorite spots in Milwaukee?
Sorry, I got to do a discreet RFK Zinn. You guys see that when he was testifying before Congress?
I
Do you guys have a lifelong addiction to nicotine?
I actually have never smoked a cigarette in my entire life.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's
Zero.
That's impressive.
Yeah, never.
Especially being a connoisseur of beers.
Yeah,
Usually one leads to the other.
you're right. A lot, and especially when I was in college. So how old are you? 27, 8-ish?
27.
27. So
Yeah.
we got about 10 years on him. But yeah, when we were in school, I don't know what it was like at the mass school you just had to pay money to go to, but you could still smoke cigarettes in bars in Wisconsin.
in Wisconsin. Yeah.
So at least the first couple of years, I think it ended maybe when I was midway through college, but yeah, you'd go out and you'd come home smelling like cigarettes, like every night out. And I actually didn't even smoke when I was drunk.
Our age
one
group,
cigarette
you and I are probably the last end of that, remembering cigarette smoking indoors.
for sure.
I remember it. I just couldn't smoke, obviously. But what a crazy thing to go to a restaurant first before they even ask how many, smoking or non-smoking. And even when you say non-smoking, you're smelling the smoke
Or
because
on an
it's
airplane.
right over there.
On an airplane. What the hell is a non-smoking section on an airplane?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be brutal.
People used to smoke. My dad used to be a smoker. He used to love, if you're a cigarette smoker, and just love having a cigarette.
Were you a smoker?
I was, yeah, until about 2 years ago.
You're really turning your life around.
Thank
over there.
you. Yeah, I was a smoker, and forget what the big. It's just like, I'm going to be. I remember when I was smoking as a teenager, one of my parents saying to me, before you know it, you're going to be in your late 30s still smoking cigarettes. And I remember thinking, so what? But then I was like thinking about that. Now, what's next? I'm going to be in my late 40s, my late 50s smoking cigarettes. So these things, I'm not trying to get on
put out
Zinn's
an ad.
radar, but I do these little nicotine pouches. You must know these Zinn things.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with them. I just don't have
You
to
don't
partake in it. Yeah.
You don't have a crippling nicotine
No, I
addiction.
just have the energy drink vice in the beer one, and I like those canned old fashions over there too. Those go down easy.
You know what's funny? You saying you're an energy drink guy. Your like tone of voice and demeanor is not an energy drink guy demeanor.
No, people used to think I was a pothead. And I had never
mellow.
smoked in my life. I remember freshman year of college, some kid came up to me and was like, "Yo, Richie, can I get some?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Can I get some?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you want. You're the pothead on campus, right?" I had like never smoked weed in my life at that
that's
point,
hilarious.
and I was just like, "No."
That's fucking funny.
Where'd
I
you
think
go to
I
You were
school?
just like,
Where'd you go to school?
That was at a school in Iowa my freshman year, and then I went to Marquette.
Okay.
And I hung around here after.
Gotcha.
Just kind of got sucked in and never left.
You
I
were
like
like-
Milwaukee though; it's a good town.
It's great.
sorry, man, I don't smoke weed. I'm all jacked up on energy drinks. Sorry, I didn't. Mean to flip out on you like that.
one before this.
No, you have a very calm, mellow demeanor. When I drink an energy drink, I'm like a crackhead.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I do
liquid
have to.
crack.
I used to be even more so. But if I'm like speaking or in some of the videos we do or some of the shows and stuff like that, I need to consciously like ramp it up
Yep.
a couple notches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a whole fridge full of energy drinks right now because we did a sketch that involved energy drinks.
Did you guys shoot that while I was gone?
I think he shot it. But didn't the guy at the package store say to you, like, why are you? I'm not going to do the accent.
But if you need a monotone energy drink guy for the next video, you know who to call.
Yeah.
No, I went into the gas station on the way in to buy all these energy drinks. So I got like 2 Monsters, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Reigns, 2. What else is there?
Well, I don't know.
Pretty much everything they had. I spent like
Yeah.
$45.
Yeah, they're not cheap either.
And this little old Indian man behind the counter, he was like, "That's too much energy." buddy." And I was like, "It's for a video," knowing damn well he had no idea what I was talking about.
That's
and he's
too
like,
much energy,
"Okay."
buddy.
He's like $34.50.
My
Paid
friend.
and walked out of there.
It's too much energy, buddy. I wish I had known that about you because I would have brought all those for him.
No, I don't need any more. I'm trying to get off the wagon again. Trying to get off the wagon.
Don't wanna be a
I do like the straight dark coffee in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah, and then in the afternoon, sometimes I get a craving and then need to get one, and then have trouble falling asleep at night just because those stay in your system for like 10 hours. And
I do drink a lot of Diet Coke, which has a caffeine effect.
yeah,
Not like an energy drink, but I do drink a lot of diet soda, which is not
that's
good.
not good for you either. No. Anyway, what are you guys' favorite spots around Milwaukee?
Man, we really sidebarred because didn't you ask us that like 10 minutes ago?
Oh, shit.
Holy
sorry.
shit.
A lot of my favorite spots are, there's so much good stuff in actual Milwaukee proper, but there's also a lot of spots like kind of outside that I really enjoy.
Yeah, throw them out there.
Legend Larry's up in Sheboygan, the wing place.
Yes.
Finally got up there.
You haven't? You should.
Great wings. Is that the dog?
No, it's either
Somebody
the
here?
tattoo shop or someone working upstairs, which shouldn't be happening at these hours.
Let's go kick their ass.
Shit.
I would like to. They clearly don't know we have an important episode going on right now.
Do you know who I am? Yeah, it was a Legend Larry's, and then out in Elm Grove, actually, where Charlie's from. There's this little Irish bar called O'Donoghue's.
Oh yeah, ODs.
Killer
ODs.
wings. The owner's name is Jamie, and there's the Jamie wings. Very unique and delicious.
Yeah.
If you ever get out there. And then for music stores, there's a couple great guitar shops. God, I wish I could think of the one that's right here. It's kind of a boutique guitar shop, but
I'm floored you did not shout out Sobelman's.
oh shit, yeah, Sobelman's, of course. Sobelman's, my
You
favorite.
like their Bloody Mary back in the day, or just their burgers, or
For me, the draw
vibe.
is the Sobelman, the burger.
yeah,
the double
that's
Sobelman.
a good one. Classic here.
I went triple once.
Ooh.
Completed the mission, but
There was another
Did you
mission.
feel did you feel equally good and bad after that?
I felt good for about 20 minutes. No judgment about the food. It's just the quantity. Sobelman burgers are really great. Anytime I'd come into town visiting, right from the airport to Sobelman's. And then for music stores, because I'm a music gear fiend, Music Go Round. You ever heard of Music Go Round?
No.
They're a chain. There's probably about 20 stores around the country. Kind of a small. They're the same company that owns like Plato's Closet, Play It
I
Again
remember
Sports.
Plato's Closet and Play It Again Sports.
And back in the day, they had a franchise that was used CDs.
Okay.
So anyway, one of their franchises is Music Go Round. And I actually worked at the only one in New England, in Boston for a while. But there's a few in Wisconsin. They're more Midwest centric, I think. But there's one in, what is it, Greenfield?
Greenfield. Yep.
I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
Love that place. So like if you're a musician, a lot of times I meet musicians in Milwaukee that don't know about Music Go Round.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to push them, but if you're looking for some good stuff, it always changes. Like it's not like Guitar Center where you go in and they have the same shit every time you go in. It's like a Best Buy. This place is like, because they're all used music gear, it's whatever somebody brought in that week. So there's always something dope in there to pick up and play with. Then you can trade gear in and stuff. And then, but Milwaukee, what's my favorite place in Milwaukee? That's a great question. I like that Boone and Crockett place.
Yeah, it's right down the road.
Is that right here?
Yeah, it's a good spot.
I like the vibe in there. I like anywhere that's not loud and dim lit. I like a dim lit,
like a dim lit, quiet place.
Some blues or some jazz on the radio, some pop or rock, and people able to have conversations with each other at a table.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't understand the going out and not being able to talk to people, but there's a lot of chill places like that in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Especially around here. Is this the third board?
Walker's Point.
Walker's Point.
Yeah.
Okay. What's another good bar that I
Dante, what are some of your favorite spots?
I'm on the topic of burgers. I'm Cops over Sobelman. Sobelman's is good, but
Cops is
something
really good.
about Cops, and it's so cheap still, which is impossible to find nowadays.
Are they the ones where the burgers are big? Patties
It's
are
like the
pretty big.
size of my face.
Yeah.
And they're like $3.
There's one in Brookfield and one in like.
There's one in Greenfield by my old apartment, and then there's one on the north side up in like Glendale, I think.
One thing I would say about Wisconsin in terms of food and stuff, if you're trying to lose weight and quit drinking, probably the last state in the union you want to move to is Wisconsin. So
Yeah, that's even more impressive on your end.
yeah, now that you mention it, it does make it more of a.
Yeah, usually people are the products of their environments, and you've actually
right.
gotten better.
Yeah.
It took
Good for you.
It took coming to the Holy Land to find myself, but God, I'm definitely forgetting some places I go to all the time.
Yeah, you get out more than I do. 'Cause whenever I'm here, I just want to be at home and do nothing.
Oh, I like to go to the places by me. Dugout 54 is cool.
Smoke Shack downtown. I've taken you there a
Shack's
couple times. Smoke Shack is good.
Milwaukee there's no shortage in Milwaukee of amazing restaurants, bars. Oh, I like the arcade bar,
Up, down?
Up, down.
Up Down.
Yeah.
I've gone there by myself numerous times.
Did you feel bad for yourself, or were you just...
No, I just wanted to play video games.
Why not?
Go in there, get a beer and a couple quarters, and go play Ninja Turtles for a while
Yeah.
when I'm supposed to be doing something else. Getting texts, Bill, where's that video?
Dante, do you like any spots that Bill hates? Any
The gym?
loud and brotastic
I don't
spots?
really go to the brotastic spots in
No.
Milwaukee because I don't really know where they're at.
Okay. You're not going down to the Harp or the
No.
brewery or places like that? Okay.
No.
What are
Like
your...
I said, I don't really go out that much here in Milwaukee just
Yeah, that would
because
make sense with
I'm
what you
always
do.
out for work. So when I'm here, I just want to be at home, relax.
What are the best? We got some Sheboygan spots that we've shouted out that people should visit, including
Legend Larry's.
Legend Larry's, Raw Dog, Three Sheeps. Where else do people need to check out in Sheboygan?
Luigi's Italian restaurant. That was my first job. My best friend's parents own it. Started working there when I was 13, washing dishes. And let me think, what else?
What's the other really good Italian spot there? I was there like a month ago.
There's one guy that owns a bunch of restaurants, but there's Il Ritrovo, which is wood fire pizza.
Oh no, yeah.
And then right across the
place.
street is Stefano's, which
Yes.
is like they're owned by the same guy, but that's the like really classy Italian place where Luigi's is kind of the like family friendly.
The man of the people.
Yeah,
Italian
man of the
place.
people.
There's another one up there that's really good. It's like Olive Garden. They have It's like a little mom
They probably
and pop.
have that in Sheboygan.
You should
They have a
leave.
Chili's right off the interstate too.
There is an
I
Olive
was
Garden
a
right
big
off
Chili's
the
guy.
interstate.
We went there, and then we went to, after Stefano's, we went to the bar kind of by the river and the Clearwater Harbor Inn. Who's in maybe?
Dave's Who's In.
Dave's Who's In.
Yep. It's a good dive bar.
Seemed what
You
the
guys
place
have a
was a
good
good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just stopped in for one to cap off our romantic.
There's
dinner
a
at
lot of,
Dave's Who's In. Yeah,
A lot of bars in Sheboygan that are just in a house.
I could tell.
There's people that live upstairs. And that's actually
That's so South Boston.
Are there
Yeah.
any really good ones?
um
No,
there's
all of them.
oh, I thought you were drinking a beer. I was like, what?
He's breaking the streak here.
Shit,
Here at
Phil,
3:15
Jesus
on a
Christ.
Monday.
Oh,
He
man.
went for the spin drift instead of the
There are
chaos pattern.
there's literally so many that I can't. Susha's is a good one. I think that's an old house. My fake ID was actually did you buy a fake ID ever?
I went through
in your
7,
life?
Dante.
Oh, 7, wow.
I had kind of a baby face.
That's-
and I had hair.
that's very
and I
unlucky.
had a late April birthday, so all my
Okay.
friends turned 21 earlier. And
Yeah.
I'm a dude and not a good-looking girl, so I went through 7.
I only had one, and
How?
I don't know. I
guess
I almost got
started.
caught.
I started senior year of high school with the fake. I was. You'd
I had a-
appreciate this. I was from Augusta, Maine. Shout out to New England.
Oh, you lived there?
No, that was my fake ID. I
Oh,
had a
that was
Maine
where your
ID.
fake. Okay.
Yeah.
What was your address? Do you remember?
Shit. No, I
What
don't.
was your name?
It was
Wait, you
Jack Burhe. I was gonna keep Burke, my real last name, but they accidentally put an H instead of a K there on the
they
fake
always
ID.
mess something up.
Yeah, and then it was going fine, and then I got pulled over near Rochester, Minnesota. I wasn't drinking, thank God, because I was like 19, and if you blow anything when you're 19, it's a DUI. You
screwed.
blow like a .001 and still you're done. And I don't know if you would remember this. You probably don't. Do you remember Sparks?
Yeah, the energy alcohol drinks.
Yes, sir. You probably don't, do
Or
you?
Four
Like
Loko?
a Four Loco?
Yeah,
It was
same deal.
Four Loco before it was Four
Okay.
Loco.
I was a
not
Four-
not as potent though.
I was a
don't
Four
think.
Loco kid.
Did you ever play Spark Pong back in the day?
Probably.
That was a good time. So anyway, I was driving back and I get pulled over, and the guy's like flashing a light around my car, and he sees an empty Spark can in my trunk through the window, which gives him reason to search my car apparently.
Yes, it does.
And I panicked and I was like, oh, he's probably going to search my wallet, which has never happened, right? So I took my Augusta, Maine fake ID out of my wallet and hid it in my glove compartment. And he obviously searched the glove compartment. 'Cause that's where police
That's
officers
so
searched.
funny.
And then he's like, who's Jack Burhe from Augusta, Maine? And I'm the worst liar ever. So I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, that's my fake ID. then
That's
I was
hilarious.
on probation for a year, I think a year after that, and got a ticket. And my girlfriend at the time, her dad was a lawyer in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, which isn't too far away. So he like negotiated something for
Attaboy.
me. When my dad found out about this whole thing, like 3 months later, and that I was using my girlfriend's dad as a pro bono lawyer, he just lost his shit.
Oh,
Rightfully so.
Never try to hide
Rightfully
it
so.
from dad.
That was the most nerve-wracking phone call I probably ever made, was to come clean about the fake ID freshman year of college and using the pro bono lawyer from Prairie du Chien. But
You gotta
yeah,
have
I
a
went through,
good-
anyway, I went through 7,
Yeah,
Dante.
That's
you got to have a good lawyer.
That's a good story.
Yeah, he did
That's
a
when
good
we
job.
cut to the Nicolay sign behind you. It's
I
funny,
don't think Nicolay gets 19-year-olds out of fake IDs. We love him,
Russell-
but I don't think Russ takes that on.
Russell is he's a fun guy, man.
He is
trust
big fan of him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I got to tell you about my fake ID if I could, real quick.
Please.
You were smart to stay within the continental United States. My fake ID. My fake ID was Derek Jameson from Peterborough, England.
Oh, so you? I thought you like went abroad with a fake ID, but then in my head I was like, you can drink there when you're 18, so you probably don't need one. You got an. Well, that's interesting. Or is it a good strategy to completely confuse everyone?
It was a brilliant strategy, and here's why. I can do pretty good accents. And at the time, I was working. This is how old I am. At the time, I was working at Blockbuster Video towards the end.
Even better.
And I had access to the equipment we use to make your membership card, which, as you know, doesn't have your picture on it or anything. So I hooked up a Microsoft computer to that equipment, used Paint Shop Pro. Remember that dinky ass pixelated fucking thing?
Yeah.
I had a friend who was from England, and I just remembered he was from Peterborough. I took the fake name I always use to this day, which is Derek Jameson, which I give to people. And I was from Peterborough, England, printed it out, and it was like I made it up completely. You would have a passport or something. I made up a thing that was like UK. I made it up. It was like UK government worker, blah, blah, blah. It's complete fucking bullshit.
So it wasn't anything like the real IDs they have in the UK.
And I made myself exactly 21 years old. And so what I would do is I would go into this Packy down by...
Packy's a gas station.
Oh, yeah. Packy is a Boston for convenience store.
Okay.
I don't think it's racist. I think it means like a package store.
I think it's slightly racist.
It might be a little racist. I went into the convenience store because I know this one dude working there is always on his earpiece talking to someone in another country. And so I would just go in and I would pretend to be on the phone, too busy to talk to him. So I'd put the 30 rack up and I'm like, yeah, mate, I've got the beers. Yeah, what are you bringing? Yeah, well, I'll be there around 4, man. Yeah, right. All right, see you soon. Cheers, mate. Yeah, that's it. A pack of cigarettes as well. Yeah, all right, cheers. And then just, he would look at it. He'd keep talking to his buddy. I'd keep talking to mine. It worked like 12 times. Then, like, I went in and it was the dad working.
Yeah.
And he's a little more customer-oriented, not on the phone. And I give him it. I'm like, shit. I give it to him. He goes, what is this? And I'm like, oh, that's my ID from back in the UK. And he's like, starts peeling it, and reveals the Blockbuster membership card underneath.
No.
And he goes, get out of here. And kept the thing. I go back out to my buddy's car, the walk of shame without the 30 racks.
Yeah.
It worked 12 times, guys.
And he didn't call the police.
No, he wasn't going to make that big a deal out of it, but probably wasn't happy with his son.
That's hilarious.
But that was ballsy.
Yeah. I love it. At that age, you're like fearless, though.
And I would think that also, like, yeah, it's illegal to make a fake ID in like your circumstance, but to make an international falsified document,
I think. I almost
What
think
did
it's better.
What did it say on it? UK government what?
Employee.
UK government.
A 21-year-old? You're just in their FBI.
I wish I had a picture of it. Dude.
Exactly 21.
Exactly. I put my real birthday. I tried to put shit that I'd remember. Because you get busted. Like, why not put information that's going to be easy to remember? But, yeah, Derek Jameson, Peterborough, England.
R.I.P.
I wonder how he's doing.
Dante, on that note, should we pitch Bill as Gem of the Week?
We should pitch.
What's that?
The single of the week.
You haven't
I'm
seen
pimping you
our
out.
popular weekly videos, Gem of the Week, presented by Kessler's Diamonds.
Oh, I thought you guys did a whole other like singles thing, like another podcast. Is that not you guys?
We put these on this feed.
Oh, okay.
You know, we usually do like a dating episode every month.
Cool.
Here at Milwaukee Uncut. There.
And look at you.
I am single.
You're Mr. April.
I'm ready to mingle.
Okay. Creativity off the charts.
Off the charts,
The fake ID thing, like
the accents, the why can't I think of the word?
if you have
musicianship.
If you have a child with him someday, the fake ID that your kid is going to have is going to be
It's going to be impeccable.
unreal.
I mean,
And we can name
he's
our
not
son
getting
Derek
arrested.
Jameson Duce.
Yeah. You'll hand that name and Blockbuster card down to your son one day.
And you will sire me a son.
I mean, drives
John
the Dodge minivan.
He's
Black.
already got the parent mobile.
You
That's
don't
not
even need to
helping.
buy a new one.
No, that thing's gonna last forever.
Cost efficient guy
Yeah.
right here.
I'm at an age where I don't give a shit. I mean, how many girls in their 30s give a crap if you roll up and pick them up in a Porsche versus a Dodge Caravan?
Zero at all.
None.
None. They might even be more impressed. They're at that point in their life. Bill, what's your age range? What are we going for here? What are you looking for?
Oh, like women age range? Probably somebody in their 30s.
Do they have to be in their 30s?
No, I'd say the cutoff would be like 28. I mean, I'm pretty immature as a person. I'd say I'm more developmentally around 20.
We're like the same age.
Yeah, he's a lot more mature than I am, actually. But somebody like older than 28. You know, like a 10 years probably the stretch, you know.
Would you go older? Would you go for a coug at all? Or are you just...
Well, without getting too biological here, I wouldn't mind having a kid. I wouldn't mind having it look like me, as important as adoption is in this world. So that could be a factor in terms of the cougar element.
So we'll stick with 30s
It's
or
some
28.
it's not impossible. I mean, modern medicine's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
10 years from now, I could have my own baby. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. What if she froze her eggs when she was... I don't really know how that stuff works.
You could be the father.
Andrea Boehlke, who's kind of taken over our dating episodes, it just usually turns into the Andrea Boehlke show. She's freezing her eggs.
Oh,
She's about
Is that who you
35.
mentioned? Yeah.
I think so.
Freezing your eggs.
Bill thinks she's cute.
No,
She is
let's go. She's
But,
very cute. 3-time Survivor contestant.
Yeah, man. You know what's weird? I never watched the show Survivor. I should watch it.
That was big when we were like coming up.
Oh, huge. Like
Yeah.
around 8th grade. I remember the first season. But yeah, well, you freeze your eggs. See, when I heard that, I thought that because of the price of eggs, she was buying billions of eggs and freezing them for sale at a later time when this.
You are an egg dealer.
eggs
You were an absolute star in that video.
Oh, you like that one?
That was a great.
Everyone liked
That
it.
was fun. But let's say someone froze their eggs in their 30s, but now they're like 50. Theoretically, they can. I don't. How does that work? Can they still have the kid?
Probably.
eggs
Am I
rotten?
making myself look dumb?
No, you're in good company. here,
Yeah, I
scientifically.
don't think three
Will
us
it be
three guys
safe?
here know.
No.
It won't be safe.
Oh, I have no idea. No,
Well,
I mean,
I
they've
think
got
that's
Ted
the point of
Williams' head
freezing
frozen
your
somewhere.
Let's cut this portion out.
No, that's an interesting question. by the way.
do the frozen eggs get a surrogate?
I don't know.
So the baby's carried in a different woman.
That is a thing.
That is a thing.
and then
that's
would it
amazing.
still look like Bill's kid
Well, it would be my,
and the,
Yeah,
the
'cause,
egg mom?
Yeah, I think Bill could
you know,
Let's
do his thing into a
let's
cup
call
or
Andrea and
something.
ask for
Cup.
Bill, and we'll pitch her Bill right away.
mason jar, whatever vessel that needs to be transported in. Right now, Cody's going, all right, so how much editing do I have to do? It's going to be a fucking nightmare.
If we called Andrea right now and asked about the egg freezing process, I don't think she would be phased at all.
Bill, do you want to call her?
You're going to call a woman and
Let's FaceTime her.
frozen egg.
Bill thinks she's cute.
Well, I mean, I'm a human. I have eyes.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
just
pretty cute.
I'm just taking the direct route right here.
Oh yeah. Well, now can't really see my face that good.
What is your question?
I was just gonna. Well, we were gonna ask. Andrea, how are you?
What's up?
I'm just with Dante and Billy Duce, Charlie's
Hi.
guys who are
Hey.
in here.
How's it going?
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
We have some questions that we have no business.
We
Making
got
up answers
into
to.
we were pitching Bill as gem of the week over here, and then we had a question on
a
his
biology
age,
question?
on a biology question.
Okay.
Because we were asking Bill's age range, talking about
Yeah.
how high he would go, and then
How
he
old
said
are
he
you?
wanted to have maybe a kid someday, and then we were like, oh, women can freeze their eggs. And we know that you are looking to do that, and we were just wondering how that process works. There's three clueless men here.
Well, okay. It's not a good process. Like, basically, You want to try to do it mid-30s because by 35 your eggs do start dying, and but it costs like $15,000 to $20,000.
How much?
Jesus
So
Christ.
that really sucks. but
$15,000 to
basically-
$20,000
Per egg?
And it's not a guarantee. So you try to freeze enough eggs, and then there's a certain amount of eggs that will survive the thaw. So if you freeze 20 eggs, which is a really good amount, like you might have enough for like one or two like final, or maybe three viable eggs. But if you don't get enough in your first round, it's not like you get your money back. You basically
You don't get half
then
off the next
have
harvest.
to do the process again if you want enough eggs. No, it's like really bad. It's not a guarantee, but at least it can give you some peace of mind. So then if you're 40, 42, you could have some 35-year-old eggs that are kind of frozen in time.
Yeah.
Got it.
And would that baby then be born as a 35-year-old? Oh, wait, no, I'm talking about. So do you keep the eggs in your kitchen freezer or in the garage?
So you have to pay to keep them. They're actually on ice.
Is it like a rent situation? Like you're paying as long as you keep them there?
Your egg landlord is calling you like, hey.
Yes. No, I think I want to say it could be like $1,500 a year or something. I'm just like throwing that number. It's definitely like significant, like at least $1,000 a year.
You should buy one of these egg
Maybe to
freezers.
Store them. I'm gonna. How much to store eggs? So I wanted to maybe do them in Greece because it's a lot cheaper there. It's only like $5,000, but you're not supposed to ship the eggs because they can get ruined when you ship them.
Makes sense.
Right.
Kind of be like me getting my hair transplants in Turkey.
I'm thinking about doing
Are you?
that.
Oh,
Are you?
Yeah, look at this.
Are you bald?
This is bad. Oh, you look. Yeah, okay, you're starting.
I
but you still
hide
look-
it.
To hold
Yeah.
frozen eggs for a year, expect to pay storage fees ranging from $500 to $1,000. So it depends on the fertility center.
Wow.
But basically, you give yourself all this medication. So you have to give yourself a shot every day that stimulates. I don't know. I'm not like an expert on this, but like something with like stimulating, so you're making more eggs, and then you go in for a one-time thing, and they extract as many eggs as they can, and you just like cross your fingers that it's a good amount.
Wow. That is fascinating. It's yeah.
Look
it's
at
tough
us,
to be,
three men just learning
Thank
about
you,
the human
Andrea.
body.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Andrea,
much.
Andrea, what else are you up to today?
What am I doing?
You want to be on the podcast? Come on down.
Volleyball. One of my volleyball leagues starts today at Fat Daddy's. It's gonna be like 30 degrees out.
Oh yeah, that'll be a cold one. I didn't know you're in a Monday night volleyball league this year.
Yeah, I usually play on 3 volleyball leagues in the summer.
Oh wow.
Bill, do you like volleyball?
Yeah, I love it.
Bill looks like an athlete. He's down 30 pounds.
Yeah.
38.
38 pounds.
Don't.
Wait, so what did Bill say was his? What is your age range? You're worried about women that can't have kids?
I don't know that I'm worried
No,
about
that
it.
was more. I don't know.
was-
Dante and I were just fishing for his age range. He said 28 to like 38.
I feel like 10 years
30
is, you know,
30s.
anything beyond that, you might be talking about some generational.
How old are you?
How old am I? 38.
Yeah.
38.
Ask her
38
how old
years
she
young.
is, Bill.
How old are you?
I'm 35, almost 36.
Oh.
Oh, her birthday, Andrea Boehlke's birthday is May 10th, is it?
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I want to do. I want to do a get together.
Let's do it.
Bill, what are you doing on May 10th?
I'll go. I would like to go to a birthday party.
I gotta figure out where I want to do it though.
Broken Bat.
I know, but I feel like the upstairs is like slightly awkward if it's just like we
Central
just gonna all
Standard.
stand around. Like it'd be kind of nice
Private
if it was
room
We
like
could we
upstairs.
could do a joint birthday party unless you want it to be all about you.
You guys got Chuck E. Cheese in Wisconsin?
April 30th.
Chuck E. Cheese, you guys
do a
have?
joint birthday party.
All right, sounds good. We'll do a joint birthday party. Billy Duce will be there in attendance.
Yeah,
Dante.
I'll be there. I'm there.
I can make some balloon animals.
Yeah,
or
we
something.
could do it on your birthday. I don't really care. I'm not a big birthday guy, but do a joint party.
Okay, wait. We'll talk more about this. That would be kind of nice, cause then, yeah, I'm down.
Oh yeah, we
Cool.
could get a good crew there.
Talk more about eggs.
That's right. Perfect.
Get to the bottom of
If
this.
you have any more questions about freezing eggs and the process, hit me up.
I think
Okay.
we're gonna cut ourselves off after this.
Did you guys finish recording or what's going on?
No,
You're on the episode.
We're ending the episode soon.
You're gonna put this.
It's like I
my
gotta get
egg
them the
update
fuck out
in
of
it?
here.
Well, it wasn't a personal update. You just more educated
I
the
was-
audience who was.
I was
that was a
surprised
highly
that-
interesting update. I think that was good for our male viewers to like
Yeah.
get
It
some more
was.
We
insight
didn't
on
know.
that.
We didn't know.
If
We
you
all
don't
learned
mind
something
leaving it
today.
in.
No, I don't care. They need to know. I wish I had more of the.
Yeah, I had no
talk
idea.
about it. I wish I could talk about it in a little more scientific detail, but I'll know more when I go through the process. The thing is, you're giving yourself these hormones, and then it might make you like really emotional because it's like you're pumping yourself with all of these hormones. I'm a little worried about that. Like I might need people to check in on me because I might be like cuckoo bananas for a month.
Man, it's tough to be a woman. I gotta tell you that. Wouldn't you say it's not better or worse to be a man or a woman? But I would think women have it tougher, like biologically, dealing with all this stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't think we have to.
Can you imagine even just like having a period and like having PMS and stuff? Like, can you
No,
talk about
I
that?
cannot. I cannot. I have two older sisters, so
we
like
bleed from our vaginas every month. Isn't that crazy?
it is. It is. I had two older sisters, and I learned early what was going on there. But the egg thing is new information to me, and I look forward to doing more research about it.
Do you think it's messed up that we like have to pay $20,000 for maybe a chance of having a kid just to try to freeze your eggs? You might not get enough, and you don't get your money back.
Yeah, I feel like there should be some kind of a rebate, like freeze 6, get the 7th one free, or some kind of a rewards program or government subsidy or something. You always do a GoFundMe.
Nah.
Go freeze
I mean,
me.
To be fair, there are some tough things biologically, but I do love being a woman. Not gonna lie.
I'm every woman. I would have liked being a woman. My parents.
Not too late.
You're right. My parents thought I was going
society,
to be.
Bill.
I forget what my name was going to be. My mom thought I was going to be a girl, but my dad was happy I came out as a boy. So
You guys should continue this conversation
Yeah.
later on.
say again.
You guys should continue this conversation off the podcast.
Myself and Andrew.
Yeah.
We'll do that. I'll reach out to you.
May 10th.
Is that your birthday party too?
Well, apparently it will be now, but mine's April 30th.
Are you married?
I'm engaged to Bree out there.
Oh, congratulations!
Thanks. Happened about a month ago. We're still
Oh.
together. That's what,
Good for you.
That's when we went to Sheboygan right after.
That was the engagement celebration.
We went to Kohler for the weekend.
Attaboy.
But yeah, we went to Stefano's and Dave Who's to celebrate the engagement and had
That's,
a beer there.
you know, there's no better way
And
to
Three
do it.
Sheeps dropped by there too.
And is that your dog, the little dog?
Yeah, one of them.
Did you guys get that together? Or?
We did. Yeah, we've been going out for a
how
long
Andrew's
time.
just
Oh, that's cool.
Kept it.
Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, kept it on. Oh, Andrea's a great friend. She,
I figured as much when you very casually took your phone out and said, "I'll give her a call and we'll find out."
we love having Andrea on the podcast.
I got to watch that episode.
You do. All right.
We're all done.
Fun. All right.
Well-
Any other
thank you.
burning questions for a woman?
Not at the moment. Nothing I can't ask my sisters. But if that happens, we'll hit you up. There's definitely things I don't want to ask.
All right. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you,
I'll
Andrea.
talk to you later.
See you at your birthday party.
Yep. Bye.
That's
Bill, I
hilarious.
think that went well.
I think that went great.
I think so. I think so.
You made her laugh
I'll be
like
getting
4
a-
times.
I'll be getting a call.
It's a good sign.
Note
Let's
on
go.
my- note
Do
on
we
my
even
Dodge-
need to finish pitching them, or did we
No, I
just?
think we can just
Nope.
end the episode.
Yeah.
There's a note on my Dodge Caravan. Call me.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind being a woman either.
I don't think. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
That could happen.